After months of waiting, finally, there are some very, very bullish looking chart setups that are coming into play. In fact, me and the Wolf Alerts Telegram group that I lead just had an amazing week, crushing many, many trades that we pushed out through our alert system. The question is, how much more steam does this bull run have? Is this just a little bit of a relief rally while not much is going on in the war before we head back down to 30 to 20K, possibly on Bitcoin? Or is this a brand new bull trend that has formed and we are heading towards the moon? The good thing is we can take a look at the charts and give ourselves a much better idea of where things are heading. So that's what we're gonna look at today, guys. What's going on with Bitcoin and what are the hottest chart setups out there to make bank on today? If you are looking for the next 100x crypto project to buy into, you have come to the right place. My name is Cameron Fous, and I have been a professional day trader for nearly 20 years. I deposited $20,000 into an account, and in just over a year, it's now worth nearly $2 million. On this channel, I'm going to present to you the best altcoins to buy, such as getting into Mana before it ripped 595%, getting into Dogecoin before it ran 15,000%. So if you want to hear about all the best trade opportunities first, hit that subscribe button, and more importantly, turn on the notifications bell so you can get these time-sensitive trade ideas immediately when my new videos go live. All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Again, this is not financial advice. This is just my own personal opinion based on the things that I'm looking at right here. But thankfully, I'm sharing these things with you so you can use your own better judgment to take what I say and then go fuck off and do whatever you want with your own money. But for me, this is what I'm potentially doing with my money, and I'll show you some of the recent trade alerts that we've been getting into inside of my Telegram group. If you're not in the Wolf Pack, you must be in there. That's where I alert all my buys and sells for every position I'm in with profit targets and stop loss suggested levels. Again, it's for educational purposes only. I don't suggest you follow them, but rather look at what I did and understand why I did it so that I can continually survive in this long game, almost 20 years in this career in business. Most people don't last that long. So let's just get right into it, guys. Taking a look at Bitcoin. Let's just remove the drawings of what we have on here. Bitcoin, big moves up, finally starting to potentially break this short-term trend that we have seeing here. Let's take a look at the weekly chart, guys. And as of right now, we potentially could be reversing. On the weekly chart, you can see the trend X potentially going green here, flipping over it. But it's Friday. Can it hold out over this mark of this level at about 43.5 to potentially go into the green on the weekly chart? We don't really know. It's not confirmed yet. We have to wait towards the end of the week. Weekends are usually a little bit crazy in crypto, which is fucking annoying because sometimes I like to take the weekend off and relax, but instead you got to monitor your crypto every week. So that's kind of annoying. But as of right now, let's just take a look at what's going on the daily chart. We'll bring my drawings back into play here. First and foremost, what happened was Bitcoin was going back and forth in this ranging market, and you can see once it broke this descending trend line, this kind of wedge pattern, this was when we finally started getting some big buy signals, which was also pushing over the 50-day moving average. You can see the 50-day moving average coming right in here, getting ranged up and down between, then breaking out of this wedge pattern and breaking out of the 50-day moving average, and also on a very big volume buy signal. Those are three different confirmations of like, okay, we might be seeing some bullish movement here. And that's when I started getting long in my positions, thinking, okay, this could be it. Then also on this flag pattern right here, we started getting back into our positions. If you look at what I posted in the Wolf Alerts Telegram group chat, this was the initial breakout right here. And then I said right here, guys, I said, okay, we're coming back into support on the 50-day moving average as well as this buy zone. We're looking for another push back upwards of 45K. And that's exactly what we're in the trajectory of now. If we look at my next chart here that I posted, we then began running back up after we bounced off that level. And now I'm anticipating a move again to retest these previous high peaks at about 45.5 to 46,000, as long as we're ranging in this new channel that's actually forming up on the chart, as well as these previous highs are definitely going to be a big barrier for us to break on Bitcoin. Do I think this is the top right here at 44.2? I think we have another push coming in towards us right here. A lot of times you don't get right up to the resistance without some blow off tops before actually reversing. If you look at the last previous times that Bitcoin topped here, it came up into this resistance level, then had these blow off tops into 46K, 45.5 before reversing. Again, comes back up, retests, blow off top where it gets almost there, creates a bull trap in that region and zone, and then reverses. Again, we haven't really seen that blow off top into this range again before us, potentially signaling a reversal. So as long as Bitcoin continually ranges in trends in this channel right here, our altcoins are going to continually go up because there's no reason yet for them to get sold off because Bitcoin hasn't seen a sell off. But as soon as Bitcoin sees a sell off or this trend shifts on on the short-term scale, a lot of the altcoins are going to lose steam. They're going to start reversing, and that's when you're going to definitely want to start locking in profits. I've already locked in the majority of the profits on most of my positions as we came back into this range, right? I started getting long after we broke out of this wedge, bought the dip right here, and now I'm locking in profits the entire way up because we got a lot of resistance coming into our play here near the horizontal resistance as well as the descending resistance here coming in. We already broke out above this line, but I definitely think right around here at about 45.5 is going to be a tough play. We also have the bearish flag, right? We have the descending trend, and then we have the flag that's forming up here. That's actually a bearish flag, but the upper range of that is at about 48.2, which is also, we can extend this range up here where we can see a significant amount of resistance also in the 48 upwards of 50K. So are we going to go up there? We don't really know yet what's going to happen, but as long as we continually stay bullish as of right now, I am having a bullish sentiment outlook on the near term. Long term, if you looked at my tweet, I said screenshot or retweet this chart. I dare you. Bitcoin bear market. And you can see here, I have a potential outlook of us running into 45 to 47 to 46K in this range right around here, and then us dropping back down to 18K. And essentially what I'm looking at when I see this is we have this bear flag forming up on Bitcoin. Is this going to happen? I don't know, but I don't have the most positive outlook on the current situation in the world economy in general. And if US stocks, if everything starts collapsing, that spreads fear everywhere. And a lot of people are probably going to start dumping their crypto, which is going to dump Bitcoin, which is going to dump all the altcoins as well. Technically, what I potentially see happening here is a descending triangle form up on Bitcoin, which then will retest this zone, potentially coming up into this range, coming back down, potentially eventually breaking down this bear flag, retesting 30K. It might retest 30K several times over the course of weeks to months before finally just crashing. And as soon as this 30K does get a sustained breakout, if this happens, it's probably going to drop 30K to 20K, which is the next support level, in probably under 2 weeks. It's going to be a panic, full-blown meltdown right into 20K. And from there, right, the next level of support is around 12.5 to 10,000, which would be a significant whole number. So that is my outlook on Bitcoin, is potentially buying the dip massively down here in 20 to 10,000. Now, the scary thing is if we do get down to 20K, it can easily drop another 50% from there down to 10K, right? It depends on how serious of a meltdown we have in the world and global economy. Things can only stay so good for so long before you see a freaking meltdown to the max, right? And bull and bear markets happen like this time and time again. We have not seen a real big sustained meltdown on Bitcoin yet. Just giving an example of what happened last time, right? You see these massive run-ups, double top here, followed by a flag that eventually breaks down right here, and then just this massive collapse. And then we had a really, really long bear market on Bitcoin. I don't think we're going to have that long of a sustained bear market on Bitcoin, but never say never. All I can say is that you should prepare for bad things happening as well, okay? Because people that don't prepare for bad things happening are the ones that lose everything and then look down the road and they are no longer wealthy, okay? I like to potentially prepare for the worst. So that's the current situation. That's in the future, okay? As a day trader and a short-term swing trader, I'm looking at the now. And right now, we are forming this bullish trend of which I think can then push us back up to 45, upwards of to 48.3 or so on Bitcoin, where we want to see this come back down potentially and then retest these levels. And then that's where we're probably going to come back down over here. Is that going to happen? I don't know if that's going to happen. Highly probable scenario of which we can take advantage of this bull run, lock in gains on the altcoins, and then potentially start looking for shorts once the altcoins become overextended and now have good looking shorting patterns. So let's just take a look at some of the current positions that I'm in right now. I have been trading much smaller because the market hasn't been cooperating for many months now. So typically my position sizes are about 100,000 right now. I've been taking $25,000 positions. If you look at my Telegram group, when I alert any of my alerts here, a lot of these times you can see I'm trading 25% positions. You see when I'm long, what is the story? What is the pattern that we're trading? What are my stops? What are my profit targets that are coming in? As well as I share the actual chart of the current chart that's actually happening right now. Also sharing my villas that I'm building right now. That's basically what I do inside of the Wolf Alerts. Right now, I'm only trading 25% positions because I don't have a whole lot of confidence in what's going on and the market hasn't been cooperating. So we're still testing the market to see when we can start scaling up to full positions at about 100K. I actually did just take a few 100K positions that I'll talk about here shortly in my spot account. But right now you can see ENJ was one of our alerts getting in at about 148. It already hit one or two of our profit targets. And now I've reached my stop up to 157 and it's about about to hit my next profit target about 172. Sand is another one that we got in early. This is our second trade on Sand, getting in at 317. It's now currently up about 338. Profit target hopefully is going to be hit at about 368 in the next day or two. Definitely, if Bitcoin does get this next move up that I'm hoping for, we can lock that trade in. The next one is Matic, which we've been in since about 149. Already hit one of our profit targets. Currently looking nice. I've moved my stop up into profit and also hoping to get this next profit target about 168 in a very short amount of time to lock in that gain. Also, there is Mana, another solid trade coming in hot, alerted in Wolf Chat. We got in about 244, multiple profit targets already hit. My stop has moved up into profit and it just barely, almost didn't reach my profit target of 271. So hopefully that gets one more bounce and we can actually lock in the profit. Another big one that we were just recently in was ApeCoin, which we got in about 1240, locked in profits at about 14 as well as 1450. The next profit target was about 15. It didn't reach that, but overall this is still consolidating. If we look at the intraday chart, it's actually going to be forming up another potential kryptonite pattern that we can potentially trade here. So I'm definitely watching for this consolidation and triangle breakout pattern on Ape for a potential secondary trade coming up here. Obviously Bay Yacht Club, Bored Ape Yacht Club, whatever you want to call it, is a very bullish project in ecosystem. So I do definitely think this is a bright future. If Bitcoin can manage to continue this trend, this is probably going to see a potential parabolic move after a breakout to new highs and continue up. But you can look at the closed trades here on Ape USDT locked in 1600, 499, 851. Again, these are on just 25% positions currently as of right now. Until we are in a sustained bull trend, I'm not going balls deep in the market, just taking advantage of short-term moves. Also, closed positions on one. We locked in a bunch of gains here on one, 450, 500, 340, 250, 220, 193, 220, 642 on one. Entry price was 0.12591 on one, which was back down here, 0.12591, and now it's reached most of my profit targets and locked in most of my gains on one. Again, if you guys want to get all my alerts for when I'm buying things, give you profit targets and suggested stop losses, this is just what I do inside of my Telegram group where you get to see everything. Then there's also the Wolf Chat where all the students are in here discussing all the current plays that are happening. There's also the Krypton students dedicated chat, which is only exclusive to people who are inside of the Krypton course. If you don't know what the Krypton course is, basically a full A to Z system on exactly how I trade. Basically how to best utilize my system is to go through the course and then watch it and then join Wolf Alerts and actually see, okay, Cam's buying this. This is an XYZ pattern. For this reason, I could see why I put the stop here. I can see why I put the profit targets there because I understand it because I went through the course. The Wolf Alerts are basically illustrations of everything I teach inside of the actual course. These are not designed for you to copycat trade. Okay, copycat trading is for losers. You're always 2 steps behind and have no idea what the fuck's going on and don't know how to navigate the market. Okay, so this is designed to complement the actual course as opposed to just thinking you're going to copycat somebody's trading and become successful. That's not how trading works. This is a profession. Only professionals actually make money in the long run in trading. So those are the situations right now. Some of the newer trades that have been coming into play as long as Bitcoin sustains this 4-hour trend that we are currently seeing inside of this channel. And we do actually get one more push up to 46 to 45, potentially upwards of 48K. What are some of the plays that could potentially still see big moves? If we look at the daily chart of ENJ, this still has more room to run. The profit targets here could definitely magnet this thing. This is a very bullish up to 196 and 215, which are still open profit targets for the initial buy-in entry that we got into down here as well as down here on ENJ. This open profit target is still definitely fully capable of happening. The next trade, I actually have a full position, 100K position in my spot account on Hero. As we got in down here about 0.46, I definitely think this could hit 1 or 2 of my profit targets, about 0.54 as well as 0.062, 33% gain above the current entry price right now. You can see right now it's kind of in this mini revival, also potentially breaking the short-term daily trend on the Trendex indicator, and the next levels of resistance are at about those levels which is where I'll be hopefully locking in profits before I actually stop out. But if the market eats shit off the current resistance levels right now, I'll stop out for a small loss. Another one that we're looking at here, VRA, which I also have a 50% position. So I've moved up my positions from 25% to 50 to 100% on some of these smaller cap plays that I do think could continually sustain momentum as long as Bitcoin holds this trend. We got into VRA, alerted in the Wolf Alerts group, at 0.0216. It's now at 0.023. Hasn't hit any of my profit targets yet of about 0.024, 0.026, and the top profit target of about 0.031. But you can see a lot of my risk rewards here are between 5 to 12 to 1 risk reward. Okay, I have very tight stops, and then my rewards are much higher than my stop. If you don't have a good risk reward on your trade, don't trade at all. So I only pick the best setups and alert them in my Wolf Alerts group, and I only trade patterns that are inside of the things that I teach inside of the Krypton, as well as the Decrypton shorting course, which I teach you how to make money going short, of which when these charts get overextended, it will be time to start shorting a lot of these plays. Another one that we also recently got in is UOS, Ultra Gaming. This is like the Steam of crypto gaming. Similar chart pattern, mini revival forming on the daily right here. The overall descending wedge formed up here. This is the risk reward, currently in about 113, still slightly right next to where I purchased at 116. It has yet to make a big move, but if it does start moving above these levels at about 118, 120, that's going to get a big spike in volume, then retest the potential wedge breakout support at about 127. If this wedge breaks out here, we're definitely going to quick push on volume right to 142, which then would potentially trigger this revival pattern breakout with this horizontal resistance in the 140s. From there, we could easily push to 160, upwards of $2 per coin on UOS. So this is basically just coiling up, getting ready for a spring-loaded slingshot to the next profit targets. Again, Bitcoin must sustain its current trend. If Bitcoin breaks this trend, this chart's going to break down and it's no longer going to be in play. Another big one we had was Gala, which is still potentially forming up a nice pattern here. I already got in and out of Gala for a short-term scalp on Gala, but I do still like the chart pattern here. The descending wedge breakout pattern formed up. Now it's consolidating again, coiling up for another potential move to the next pivot points of about 34 cents and 39 cents. So overall, there's a lot of really great looking charts. Another one is Wild, of which I'm just still waiting. You can see I have alerts down here to potentially pick up Wild if we start breaking down under $1 per coin. Right now, it found no momentum on the actual descending wedge pattern breakout. So I'm not super enthusiastic about this. But if momentum starts picking back up on this, it could definitely run, but it hasn't really ran when the market's running. But overall, I like the ecosystem and what Wild is working on. It doesn't matter what my opinion is. What matters is what the chart is telling me. And right now, the chart is telling me that Wilder World is weak. The last one I'm going to talk about here is Luna. I also got stopped out of Luna for break even. I was hoping to see this wedge pattern breakout right here, and then a run up to about 100 to retest those highs, and then a spike to all-time highs to about 110, 115 on Luna, and then potentially forming a bear trap on Luna up here, which would then create a short trigger and actually come back down. Okay, but I definitely think we're probably not out of steam here on Luna. There's probably one last spike to at least give us this push up here, which you can take advantage of if this wedge pattern breaks out about 95. Could easily push up to 110 to 120 or so on Terra, where we potentially would then, especially if Bitcoin reverses off that, this would be a huge bull trap and shorting opportunity on Terra Luna. But overall, guys, we'll see what happens. Bitcoin, lots of resistance in this range, okay? This is all resistance here, okay? This is gonna be a tough area to break through, but I do think that Bitcoin is going to probably push one more time up into these levels. It's hard to say what's going to happen right there. All I know is that this is a prime opportunity to start locking in gains and play it safe, then for a potential dip to buy into, or potentially locking your gains and potentially start looking at shorting positions, because inside of this bearish channel that's forming up here, that's the upper range, which could then come back down and retest it at about 36K down here. And if it breaks down this, we're heading to 30K. If we break down 30K, we're doing a 2-week or less slap shot down to 20K. And from there, that's when we're going to have some real blood on the streets and some serious fear, as everyone's going to be underwater that are long on Bitcoin. And that's when the real panic and fear sets in and nobody knows what the fuck is going on, but also creates buying opportunities. Okay. So anyways, that's it for today, guys. Good luck out there. Be safe. Don't get your hopes up too much just because we're seeing a little bit of bullish momentum. Overall, markets are shady. You look at the Dow Jones 30, where are we at now? We're in the descending channel right up here near resistance. I think a short is in play here on the US 30, and we're going to come back down and retest new lows. So be safe out there. Lock in gains. Learn how to short. Check out the Krypton course. Also join the Wolfpack Telegram group. Peace.